Me.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, action.
Really, Dad? Again with the totem party thing?
Well, are you ready?
Ready for what?
Your interview.
What interview?
You gotta tell the people how you made the film.
Oh, yeah.
So, how did you get started?
Well, we started by writing a script. And here's the first thing we did with the script. Now, the reason we did this is because our imagination is much higher than our budget.
What do you mean?
Well, we couldn't afford like all the right audio and sound, so we decided to go with more of like a non-talking but suspenseful kind of piece.
Okay, I get it. Alright, so
We couldn't afford boom mics and stuff like that.
Good point. So what did you do next?
We I forgot what to say.
It's good. So the next thing you did was you had to think about where you were going to film.
Keep forgetting.
Alright. So what did you do next?
We had to think about where we're going to film and what props we were going to use.
Okay, props like, can you give me an example?
One example is a shoulder mount. A shoulder mount is something, well, that you put on your shoulder, of course, and it holds the camera steady. And there's a quick release plate here. A quick release plate like makes the camera stay on at a certain point. Oh, okay. And like so, like you can tilt like this and do all this, and you won't get tired. The reason you would use a shoulder mount is because humans' hands are too shaky and the ground is uneven, like in the woods. You would want to use this, so the steadiness would give the film more of a real effect.
Oh, nice. And how did you make that thing?
We started off by using a PVC pipe, which is one of these things right here. Just a really long hollow pipe, and we cut it up. We cut it up into the right measurement pieces, and we melted it down to curve it until it would fit the shape of our shoulders.
Is there any tools you needed for that?
We used a drill to drill holes for the screws that we would use to put on a quick release plate. We used these, which weren't very helpful. Yeah, not at all. We also used this to break off pieces that we did not need, or pieces that would need to be smaller. And we used foam for comforting. We tried to use the shoulder mount without it, but it was too shaky and it hurt too much, so we put this on it so we could have comfort to keep the shoulder mount still. And my favorite part, zip ties. Lots and lots of zip ties.
That's pretty cool, dude. So I noticed that you had a lot of 3D elements in your film. You want to tell me how you did that?
Oh, so we started by making a 3D wasp in Maya. Maya is a program where you can make rigs of 3D objects and make them move around and do all this animation for films. Then we took that and we like imported it. You didn't say that. I forgot.
Yeah. So you animated something, and then how did you get that animation into your video?
Well, we had to take that film and we had to rig it. When you rig it, you make a skeleton of the 3D object and you make it move in a certain action, and then when you press play, it'll repeat the action you just did. The hard thing was to get the timing right. Without the timing, it would look terrible and it wouldn't make sense. So getting the timing right took about 1 or 2 weeks. Just to make the movements took about another 2 weeks. So it was really hard to place it all together.
Oh, nice. So you animated your bee, or your wasp, as you said, right? And then you brought it into your video. How did you make your video? Where did you film that at?
We actually filmed this at Tequila Park. It has a lot of walkways and woods that you can use. It also has like this big hill right at the entrance that would be really good for the effect we were trying to go for.
So did you film it all in like just one spot? I noticed how everything kind of went really smoothly together.
We filmed in like 3 different locations, even though there was a lot of different runs. We did a left to right in the same location. Then we did another section of the woods so it wouldn't get too repetitive. Then we went up to this one big hill that looked kind of like broken down and stuff, and we used that for one of the biggest explosions.
And did you have to crop anything out? I noticed the Hewlett Park has a lot of stuff like swings and streets and roads.
But yeah, if we had to record a certain angle, but the street was in the way, you would click on that and delete it and put a background behind it, like some type of woods or something like that. So it wouldn't seem like we're in the 2017. It would be like way back in the apocalyptic world.
So you're telling me that what I saw in your video wasn't actually there? You actually made part of that?
We made some of it, but most of the background was real. But in the beginning shot, we took a video of a 3D environment and a camera moving forward. That part was not real, but running through the woods, going up the hills, that was real.
Oh, cool. And I also noticed you had a lot of cool sound effects like music and explosions and the sound of the bees going by. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So after we had all the timing right, we had to import the footage into this thing called, what's the program called?
Ableton.
We had to import the footage to a program called Ableton. Ableton lets you do music and background noises. And after, the most important part is finding the right sounds. Finding the right background music takes a long time to do. Without the right background music, it would ruin the effect of the movie. So if it's supposed to be suspenseful and you have happy music going on, it ruins the effect of it being suspenseful. But say you want action, you want kind of dramatic music, not sad music or something like that. Music helps develop the audience's feelings of how the film would be put together.
Oh, that's a good point. And then don't forget about the ambient noise.
One of the most important things is the ambient noise. See, you don't notice ambient noise. It's you would notice it without it, but with it, it sounds normal. See, we were doing the explosion stuff, and when we were doing the explosions, we would play it, and we would notice that it was pure as blank, no noise at all, and it sounded unnatural. So we took some audio of leaves rustling and trees and leaves blowing by and wind, so it sounded natural instead of just blank nothing. So it's you wouldn't notice it, but without it, you would notice it completely.
That's all. And how did you learn how to do all of this?
We started by these one YouTubers called Film Riot. I think I heard about them about 4 years ago. I didn't understand what the concept of After Effects was back then, but then my dad introduced me to how films are made. So now it's anytime I see a show, I'm oh, there's After Effects. Oh, there's After Effects again. Oh, look, more After Effects.
So what does After Effects do exactly?
You can import different types of effects, like explosions and stuff, and there's always a background. You would have to take the background out and put it in, and then do color correction. Color correction is where you change the color so where it can fit the environment of the video you're trying to put it in.
Awesome. Anything else you want to say before we go? Good to explain.
You told me to say something about domain.com, but
Oh yeah.
but I don't know how to
Do that.
do that.
Film Riot always says this. So if you're thinking about being a filmmaker, you should get an awesome domain from domain.com. Watch Film Riot, they'll tell you how.
Wait,
Got it?
Wait, so wait, what?
If you're thinking about being a filmmaker, you should make your own custom website. And to do that, I would use domain.com. If you want to know more about domain.com, check out a Film Riot video.
Oh, okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Action.
Wait.
I knew that was good.
I don't want to.
You got this, buddy. Come on.
Yeah.
Wait.
So, if you want to learn video editing or how to be a filmmaker, check out Film Riot and make your own website using domain.com.
Okay, so how to be a filmmaker? You should check out a Film Riot video. There's this one website called domain.com. You can make your own domain.
Yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
But with a little bit more expression and say it right to the
I
camera.
know, I get it. It's
All right.
just, I'm just, Dad!
Ready?
But come on.
Don't stop.
I need to know where I'm marking the video for the
Oh,
edit.
God.
Remember, this is a sound pod. It tells me where to start.
Okay. Oh, if you want to be a filmmaker, then you should check out a FilmRite Video. They'll tell you something about domain.com. Domain.com is a website where you can build your own domain. If you want to know more about domain.com, then go to a FilmRite Video and they'll tell you more about it.